Ladies and gentlemen, he did it. Nick Suzuki is a 100-point scorer in the National Hockey League as the Montreal Canadiens officially eliminate the New York Islanders from playoff contention with a 4-1 win Sunday afternoon. This was a great game. And honestly, after hearing the disappointed Canadiens fan base from the Michael Hage news, this is what Canadiens fans needed, right? A 4-1 win on the road. The team is super hyped up. There are milestones. We know NHL players like to pretend that the milestones aren't really important. And honestly, maybe that is true to an extent. Like, nobody goes into the game or goes into a season specifically hoping for a milestone to happen, but when you've worked all year to get to this point, and when you get so close, like some of these Canadiens players were, you gotta think it's on the back of your mind. Cole Caulfield was at 49 goals for too long before finally scoring his 50th. Nick Suzuki was at 99 points heading into this game, and everybody else in between. Slafkovsky, Demidov, Lane, Hutson. The Montreal Canadiens have built a season to remember in 2025-2026. And all it took was about 35 minutes of game time for the Montreal Canadiens to get themselves the goal that puts them on top of the mountain. Lane Hutson plays the puck over to Juraj Slafkovsky, who goes for a skate. He drives all the way around the offensive zone, centers it for Nick Suzuki, and right in front, Suzuki pots it behind the New York goaltender Ilya Sorokin, and that is enough for Suzuki to get his 29th goal of the season and his 100th point on the season. Nick Suzuki is a 100-point scorer, and you could see the joy on all of these Canadiens' faces when they saw the goal go in. How many 100-point scorers have there been in Canadiens history? Well, you just gotta go out there and add one more, because Nick Suzuki puts his name on there. And I'm gonna be honest, this is a guy that I never really thought had that 100-point potential. I get that the NHL as a league has started to see a lot more goals these days compared to, let's say, 9 years ago when Suzuki was drafted. But I think best case scenario, we were all thinking that Suzuki was probably like a 70, 80 point guy. He could have 1 point per game campaign in his career if he got lucky. That was always the talent level that Nick Suzuki projected as heading into his NHL career. So to see him go from Vegas Golden Knight to trade it to Montreal, he plays in the playoffs, he plays in the finals, and then he becomes a 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 point guy. It's like, man, where's the limit for this player? He's 26 years old, he'll be 27 by the time next season begins. Does he have it in him for another 100 point campaign? What's the deal here with Nick Suzuki and his ceiling, man? He's a 100-point player, and if he goes out there and wins the Selke this season, like, I'd say he's a pretty projected favorite to doing so, Nick Suzuki could become the third 100-point Selke winner. This was posted about on the RHAB subreddit, but only 2 players have ever won the Selke whilst getting 100-plus points on a season. They were Doug Gilmour in 1993, who had 127 points, and Sergei Fedorov, who in 1994 had 120 points too. Fedorov also did it a second time in 1996, where he had 107 points. Realistically, Nick Suzuki is not going to get to 120 like Gilmour and Fedorov's first season, but if he ends up winning it with 101 or 103 or whatever it is that he ends up finishing the season with, he'll literally have posted up one of the best Selke trophy winning seasons ever. I mean, it's possible for this guy, isn't it? With that said, Nick Suzuki, I mean, there's just no words to talk about it. He deserves all the praise that he's getting. He is the Canadiens captain. Thank you, Max Pacioretty, for your sacrifice. But that's not all from Nick Suzuki, because he didn't just score his 100th point on the season. Give it about a minute, and he ends up scoring his 101st point, his 72nd assist on the year on an Ivan Demidov power play goal. Lane Hutson knocks the puck down. Suzuki goes down into the corner. Suzuki gets it back, throws it out for Slafkovsky. It takes a weird bounce. Suzuki in front, backdoor. Demidov scores. It's a really nice play. We have seen Demidov and his positioning in the right place at the right time more often than not this season, especially when it comes to those man advantage power play opportunities. It was a really great play, and Suzuki sets him up for his 101st point of the year. Alex Newhook then scored just 30 seconds later on the rush. David Reinbacher gets his first NHL point on that. Reinbacher over to Bolduc, and then it's Newhook who comes in, he shoots, and he scores. Praise be to David Reinbacher, making his NHL debut late in the 2025-2026 season and scoring his first point. He's a point per game in the NHL, half a point a game in the AHL. How great is that, eh? Third period sees Casey Cizikas and Zach Bolduc scoring in the frame. So that's all she wrote. 4-1 victory for the Montreal Canadiens. But it wasn't just Nick Suzuki and David Reinbacher who had some pretty notable milestones in this hockey game. You have Lane Hutson, who ended up getting his 67th assist on the year. He had 3 assists today. So, yeah, great job, Lane. That sets a franchise record for assists by a defenseman in one Canadiens season. That's absolutely insane. Head over to the Montreal Canadiens and their record books. The highest assists out of one defenseman in a Canadian sweater was 66. Larry Robinson at 25 years old back in 1977. Lane Hutson just beat him, and Hutson is 21. So, yeah, Lane Hutson has multiple years to continuously beat on Larry Robinson and that record. Robinson, by the way, he ended up scoring like however many goals he did. He had 19 goals that season, so there still is a ways to go for Hutson to overtake the overall points on that year. I don't think it's going to happen this season, but ultimately, I mean, Larry Robinson scored 85 points that season. Is it possible for Lane Hutson to get 85 plus points in a year over the next few years? I'd say it's very well possible if Suzuki and Demidov and all these guys continue to produce in the ways that they have been. That's not even to talk about Slafkovsky, man. There are so many positive Canadian stories, and with all this in mind, it's like really illuminating, I would say, just being able to appreciate what's already out there on the team. This is what we talked about earlier. Like, Michael Hage, obviously, he's a great player, and he's going to be an amazing prospect who develops into an NHL talent, but even if he doesn't join Montreal, it's fine if he joins later, right? If he goes back to Michigan, he has a dominating year. If he is a full-time NHL-ready player next season, then maybe it's even better for Montreal. Who knows? But with that said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about Nick Suzuki scoring his 100 and 101st NHL point? Thoughts on Lane Hutson besting out Larry Robinson for the most assists in one season by a Canadiens defenseman? Thoughts on the Demidov goal, the Newhook goal, David Reinbacher getting his first NHL point? It's been an amazing day for Montreal Canadiens fans, and I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sign on, and bye.